Hey everybody, I hope that you're doing well. Evan here. I have the word of the week for you this week. Now you might feel like you've been imprisoned for a little while now, having to stay quarantined, and you're doing a great job. Please continue to do so. We want to make sure that we're listening to the government and the best recommendations for keeping this virus under control. But like I said, you might be feeling kind of stir crazy after a while and you're thinking, man, I don't know, should I just wait it out? Should I just sleep all day? And other people are like, I have to do something. I have to get out there. I'm definitely a needed essential worker. Well, you can still be essential even from your home. Here's what I mean. In 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 13, it reads, "When you come, bring the cloak that I left with Carpus at Troas, also the books and above all the parchments." Okay, you may need a little bit of context because this is kind of a abstract verse, isn't it? Paul is asking his friend and colleague for books and parchments. That Paul wasn't just going to sit around and just see what was going to happen next and just let life sort of pass by. He wanted to grasp every single opportunity and keep active. And that's my first point for you today, that you want to continue to engage your mind, continue to fulfill God's kingdom, even though you are sitting at an apartment or at a house or wherever you are. But continue to keep your mind active. Now, Paul requests two things. Books and parchments are two different words in the Greek. One of them could be anything from a small notebook to a large library. We're not really sure. But then he goes on to say, and above all the parchments. Now, the parchments were something that were a little bit different. They were more high quality and something that could be written on. So it gives us a little bit of a clue that he may have in mind to continue to write letters. Now, of course, scholars debate that. We're not really sure whether these parchments were to read or to write. But I'm going to give you this for your word of the week, that by keeping active, you could do two things at home. One, you can continue to read books. Yes, read books. We're going to get back to that old ancient habit of reading. But secondly, try this, write a letter. Now, why do I say this? Well, 2 Timothy was written while Paul was in prison. In fact, there were 4 letters that we call the prison epistles or the prison letters that Paul wrote while in his incarceration, which we see at the end of the book of Acts. Colossians, Ephesians, Philippians, and Philemon were all written when Paul was basically locked away and had nothing else that he could possibly do but write to these different churches and brothers and sisters and advise them and encourage them and warn them and love on them even from afar and even behind locked doors. In fact, I'd like to read to you just the beginning of Philippians. Now, keep in mind, Paul is locked up and can't really do a whole lot. But he does write this from verses 3 to 7. He says, "I thank my God in my remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine, for you always making my prayer with joy because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now. And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. It is right for me to feel this way about all you because I hold you in my heart, for you are all partakers of with me of grace, both in my imprisonment and in my defense and confirmation of the gospel." So Paul, in prison, is writing to his fellow brothers and sisters, just encouraging them, telling them about, hey, I remember some of those things that we've done together when I was with you, and I'm just praising God over it, and I want you to know this, that he's going to continue to do great things for you. Wow, an encouragement powerhouse from behind locked doors. Now, you could do the very same, and here's my challenge for you in this next week. While you're at home, instead of thinking about all the things you can do, okay, maybe you've set up your routine, and I hope you have. Yes, we're buckling down for the long haul. We're going to try to do this through April. I understand whatever they're saying next, which it changes every day. We have our routine, but let's start thinking about each other. Let's start thinking about other brothers and sisters. I received a phone call from a brother that I used to do ministry with many, many years ago, and he just wanted to check in and know how he could pray for me and my family. He said, yeah, I'm just calling around different people and just sharing the gospel and encouraging people, and that's, I just try to hit a few people throughout the week. So maybe you want to consider another brother or sister at the church that God just puts on your heart. Maybe sit down and actually write a letter, kind of like what we do at camp, where we write down affirmations. Sit down and seriously consider the life of somebody else, what they're going through, what struggles they might have, what questions, and just write a good, encouraging message. Tell them some of the things that you see Jesus in their life. Like, wow, I really love how you do this. Like, Jesus is definitely working in this way. I really want to encourage you to continue in that way. And we're going to make it through this together. Whatever it is, try not to make them too lame. many people are like, you look good in glasses. We're talking about how can I help somebody else, another brother or sister who I know is also stuck somewhere, and I'm stuck here, but how can I help them advance and walk forward for the kingdom of God? So that's my challenge for you. Continue to be active. We don't know what tomorrow will look like, but we do know what today looks like, and we do have this time, and we can use it every moment and every thought that we can use to encourage another brother or sister around us. So let's get out that pen and paper, let's get out those books, and let's start praising God and encouraging other people. Have a good week.